Hi, Stuart.
Hi, Samuel, and everyone.
Oh yeah, you're all here too, aren't you? Team Trekyards doing their bit. Us in the talking, you in the listening, and the reacting. All important jobs, Stuart. And of course, the discovery people for making the show for us to review. That's quite important as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Although we were here before them, so I was about to say without them we couldn't do it, but we did do it before them, so
We did.
just saying.
We did. And with style. Even though I go back and watch some of those occasionally, it's like, oh my Christ, what the hell?
With youth.
What is up with that
We'll say
camera
with youth.
angle? Now, I felt like I've put weight on, but when I go back and watch some of our early stuff, I've lost weight, especially my face. It's like, holy sh. Anyway, yeah. Don't watch our old stuff. I'm just kidding. Go watch our season 1 stuff, our first year stuff. It's like, oh.
Yes.
Batman year 1, Trekyards year 1.
Yes, indeed.
Anyway, welcome back, guys. And today we're talking about the Galactic Barrier, episode 10. That was the Great Barrier for a while. It wasn't. It's the Galactic Barrier. So.
Yes. So I guess I'll get sharing.
Share away, my friend.
Yeah,
share away. You guys, you guys hit the like button. Hit that like button. It's super important. Also, if you want a super chat, Kit 10K is already thrown in a super chat, which is awesome. Great way to get kicked off. So if you guys want to say anything or have us read your comment on air, super chats are a great way to do so. We really appreciate those, obviously. You can also join the channel and make sure you're subscribed and notified, obviously. But joining the channel and even heading over to Patreon/Trekyards are 2 ways to help us on a monthly basis if you so desire that, instead of super chatting all the time. It all helps out. We got some really great people joining the channel, such as Ozzy and some other people that really help out a lot every month. So we appreciate all you guys. And yeah, if you want to help us by sending PayPal, you can do that as well. PayPal to trekyards@hotmail.com. Just let us know in the regular chat that you sent that, and we'll read your comment or question via the email from PayPal. That's another way as well. Yeah, but hitting a like is the easiest way, honestly. So if you're able to, please do hit that like button, thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. So would Samuel. So would YouTube. There's also links down below to the Teespring store, the TeePublic store, lots of great Trekyards merchandise, and affiliate links for Eagle Moss and things like that, so that you guys can get yourself some cool stuff and save yourself some money. We have discount codes. Lots of things down in the description, so I would say check out the description of every video, as there's always lots of great stuff down there. And yeah, subscribe to the Captain Foley personal channel as well. But yeah, we have a lot of affiliate links and things down below, and links to Samuel's fan film YouTube channel and my channel, and a whole bunch of cool stuff. So lots of cool stuff down there. If you ever check out the descriptions, you should check out the descriptions. There's always good stuff. But we want to hear your thoughts on this episode today, obviously. And yeah, we do read every super chat, as I said earlier. So if you
It wasn't working, so now an extremely large extension to my other jack. So, and like a 2-foot extension. Well, I haven't. It shouldn't have been a thing. Well, I changed my headphones so I could hear you. If I do that, say something. It's not the only form that. Why would that be? Say something again.
Something again.
Okay, well I just can't hear you on Skype then. Okay, we'll do the show where I can't hear you. Great. Fantastic. I'll share it and work something out. Okay.
Yeah, having some issues with the audio there, so. Anyway, we'll wait for that to get sorted and get us back visually and audially. You can hear me now, but Samuel can't hear me on Skype because, yeah, it's a whole thing. We'll get it figured out. Don't worry. So, yeah, I mean, this is a better episode than the last two, in my opinion, and we will talk about it, see what we can suss out about it. It had two very interesting storylines. Well, one mediocre, the other was all right, but again, I'll talk about my thoughts on that in a second when Samuel comes back. So, there, can you hear me now?
I guess I have no choice to try and deal with this headphone that I can better hear you on. Okay, well there you go.
That sucks.
So I can barely hear Stuart, but you know, you guys can hear him, so that's how it's going to be. Okay.
Well, sorry about that.
So Stuart, what do you think of season, episode 4? 10. 4 and 10.
Better than the last two, for sure. It just, again, felt like, and I had a feeling it was leading up to this, where it was just going to be, we don't know what's going to happen at the end. They're going to get through the barrier, and it's going to be the end of the episode. And sure enough, that's what happened. They're really stretching this one storyline a little too thin, in my opinion. It should be more like season 4 of Enterprise, where there's like 4 or 5 stories spanning like 2 or 3 episodes each. This is one.
It's you muting, not the headphones this time. No, it's not. No.
As a result, I can't see Ozzy's $10 super chat. But Ozzy had sent us no, not Ozzy, Kit 10K, and he said first super chat again. Does a little dance. And he had to go get food for him and his dad, and he'll be back soon. So
missed nothing.
Kit 10K's first super chat was. Yeah, he missed nothing. But welcome back, guys. So as I was saying.
Yes, Joe. What do you think about season 10, episode 4?
Other way around, but okay. Better than the last 2 episodes, but like I said, I'm getting sick of the storyline. It just needs to end at this point. It's just basically a bunch of disappointments at the end of each episode. It's just like you haven't really accomplished anything. Move on, please. So, I mean, the Tarka story was okay. Getting to know his friend, his other scientist friend, but it was just Again, it was better than the last 2, but not by much. My opinions of it have gone down since I watched it the first time. So
yeah, how many viewings are you at now?
Just at 2.
Okay.
Just do another one probably tomorrow, but yep.
Yeah. I think second viewing I think in second viewing the Great Barrier stuff's less exciting than the first time. I think that's what brings it down a little bit in second viewing. So for me, it's also fine again. This one definitely feels like they just, again, misunderstood pacing a little bit. The Tarka stuff is theoretically interesting, but it's incredibly a lot of the episode. Each scene is drawn out in a very slow way, and it's a harsh cut pace between the more engaging Galaxy plot and then his old friend, which could have been done probably in a third of the time, probably maybe a half to be safe. And it's nice enough stuff, and it's fun to see him, darker hair. But we've already heard that story enough. I didn't learn really anything else. I mean, what did we learn new apart from the appearance of this new person?
Well,
and he was a spy, I guess. That was the only thing of note, really.
we got to meet him, and yeah, that Tarka betrayed him, and then felt bad. That's about it.
I mean, everything else was already known, so it was a lot of unnecessary time spent, give or take. And also, that character's going to come back. Well, has to for that to make sense. For us to get to know him, he'll have to come back. Otherwise, it's very much less used.
A lot of people last night on my live were speculating that he's actually the one that's creating the anomaly because he's outside the Galactic Barrier, and he's trying to get Tarka or come back to tell Tarka that he made it or something. That'd be a nice twist. But then again, it's going to piss everybody off, just like Suval or whatever the hell his name was, Sukal twist. So
I mean, it's not without merit, but that means
it's a retread of the last season.
Oh sure,
for the reveal.
But also, you'd have to have set up to us how truly smart he is or race he is. At that point, you're saying he's the smartest man in the universe because he managed to design and build tech that's literally so far beyond anything. That said, Tarka was able to redesign it without seeing it, which we did say was a weird clue early on, which would imply maybe he recognized the guy's design work. You could argue that.
Could be, yeah.
But
and just when he crossed over to the other universe, he found a power source or a civilization that was advanced enough to help him, and that's what this is. Yeah. Maybe they moved the bubble that's around the planets. Maybe they moved that planet from the other universe to this one, just outside the Galactic Barrier, as a way to help him get his friend back or whatever. And because it's a weird anomaly having that planets and the Barrett bubble around them outside the Galactic Barrier.
Well, it's obscenely close to our side. I mean, this is not a coincidence. It's there on purpose. It was not built there. It was obviously moved there. It was, you know, no species is evolving outside of a galaxy that much technology, and then there's something more there, which is fine by itself. But yeah, I could see a sense of logic, but that would be disappointing. Basically, it was okay. The Tarka stuff I literally just went on my phone. I'll be honest in this one because I knew none of it meant anything like long term. I didn't have to rewatch it. It's like the Shades of Grey. You don't have to watch the clips again. You can just fast forward them. You know the meaning of every moment. There's nothing new there to gain.
Yeah.
So I mentally skipped them, and the Guerrero stuff was fine. The Saru stuff's fine.
Some of the best stuff I think at the beginning with
that's the best scene.
Sitting around the table with Kovic, and Kovic is like, "Hey, I got to go do a thing," and they're like, "What's more important than this?" So much.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing if I do my job right or whatever he said. I want to know that story. I'm sick and tired of the story we're watching. I want to see something interesting. And it's just, this isn't it.
Yeah, I mean, 10 episodes is an astounding padding. This should have been not maybe to this point, but I mean, really, Great Barrier should have been halfway through the season, get to the Great Barrier. That would have been the half-season midpoint, so yeah, the pandemic definitely made them pad. Not even really interesting stuff. They could have used the time to develop a Washicum, or Detmer, or Reese, and they've done really very little development. It's Tarka, book at the start, and it's really hard to see where the time's going. It's just scenes that could be shortened and more efficient. It's strange.
As I said before we got cut off there, I don't know if anybody heard me, but I think season 4 of Enterprise did this a lot better. Do like 4 or 5 stories in the season, 2 or 3 episodes each. Don't stretch a story this thin that every episode just ends up with nothing happening, or little baby steps. It just they've definitely lost me as far as that goes. So
no, that's fair. And in fact, it was kind of a multi-story arc. We had the very distinct book stuff at the start, but now he's totally fine. Don't go 150% and then retract all of his grief to 2%. It has an odd sense about it. Yeah. They've just, I mean, it's funny. The season both feels like well crafted in terms of they knew where they're going, but as I said previously, I feel like they had one season of stories and they said, "Oh no, we can't film all in 1 year. It's not practical. Pandemic. Let's half it. Hope we get season 5. We'll do this half this year, and we'll add more scenes in between." Because who would write this as one full season of TV with this little meaningful content? Because another 10, we know very little more about any of the characters, which is the time to do it. Yeah, Strange.
Well, Mark Lawrence throws in $5. The Great Barrier should have been shown as being so large that it fades into darkness with no visible edges up or down, left or right. Totally agree. I get sick of the band of color as for this Galactic Barrier. It should extend up and down. It should be just everywhere because it surrounds the entire galaxy. But hey. Kit 10K, $10. Thanks so much. Says, I'm back. He didn't miss anything because the power went out. So, enjoying a soda, a burger, some fries, and Trekyards. Can't go wrong with that. Burp. Oops, excuse me. And my dog Jack is waiting for a fry. Yes, all good dogs wait for French fries.
But speaking of good dogs, first shot is the Picard com badge, which is very prequely, foreshadowing of next week. It's the chromium one.
I think there's a few foreshadowing things here. I mean, the whole conversation about where Kovic drops the line 3-hour tour, alluding to Gilligan's Island. You're just going out for a 3-hour trip and you get stranded and you never come back. That, I think, is foreshadowing that Discovery is not going to be able to get back into the galaxy.
For 3 seasons.
Well, yeah. But yeah, this was an interesting scene. Got to see some old tech and,
But we do get to see some familiar stuff and some visually rebooted stuff. Tune in for a full episode review, full episode comparison breakdown of that a little bit later because it's really interesting.
Christian Montgomery, $2. What if Kovic is Flint from TOS? Sure.
But it's a great meeting. We get introduced to this new linguistics character who I thought would play some part in the episode. Didn't.
He was always eating, except for in one scene. Every time we saw him, he was eating something.
Yeah, I liked him, and such a well-known character actor. Been in a billion things. But not used at all. A little bit weird.
Not yet.
No,
yeah. And his name was Dr. Harai. Yeah, specialist in astrolinguistics and xenophology.
But their meeting gets interrupted though, because things are even worse. The DMA, the controller is the same size, which is reasonably medium size, but it's far more complicated. So they've packed an extra mining material that's now going at an astounding rate. What's once was 7 days until it mines everything last, now it'll take 12 hours. So it is, the tech has been massively enhanced, and it's back to where it's doing its thing. So basically we've got to go now, or at least in 2 hours when the ship is ready. And everyone's plans get scuppered.
Yeah, and the president basically hands over everything to the vice president because she feels she was an ambassador for 20 years. She should go on this mission.
Which is lovely.
So,
makes sense. I buy that.
Yeah. And she just has faith in Vance that he'll be able to hold things together if anything goes wrong here. So.
And they're good together.
Nice.
These two are good peoples.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get a slightly confusing scene because Book is threatening to drop Tarka off on a planet. I don't know why he thinks he'd let him do that or accept it. It feels like a wasted line of dialogue, which he turns on the head and says, basically, no, let's go do something. Yeah, I'm confused by why they thought this was a good bit of dialogue.
Yeah, and it's also where they say that, that the mycelial network can't exist out there, right? Whereas in season 1 of Discovery, which I've just been watching, it connects everything, galaxies together. It holds the whole universe together until it doesn't.
I didn't think they said that. I did think because it's also multiple dimensional planes.
Yeah. Yep.
Like it's the fabric of the universe is what I thought it was.
It was basically God tech. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was subspace. It was just a new organic subspace. So there isn't no subspace in another galaxy. It's just the sublayer of space. I did like the limitation of you can't sport outside the galaxy. We called that Stereo saying, of course you can, because the thing clearly can do everything. But at least we find a limitations to it is we can't sport out of the unbeatable barrier until it's beaten. It's at least a limitation.
Yeah. That's where we learn about programmable antimatter as a way to bolster the shields to get through the galactic barrier.
Now, did that feel a bit easy as a MacGuffin? Cause...
It did.
Okay.
It did. The writers were like, hey, we have programmable matter. What is more powerful than... Oh, antimatter. Yeah. Okay. yeah, never mentioned to this point. Now it's just like, oh, I know where there's a stash. Okay, well, fine. We got a plan. Let's go. It's like, okay, damn. Nah.
Yeah, it was. They wrote themselves into a hole, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Although it's okay, but how can you replicate antimatter? Because antimatter can't coexist with real matter, which implies it's got to have a shield around it, which means the matter's also got.
A magnetic containment unit is all it needs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a hell of a bonus god tech, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we see Discovery still being upgraded with the most advanced shielding, whatever. And then we get a farewell to Bryce, which felt more like literally the actors talking, just saying, you know, have fun on your new show. He's on a show called The Porter now. Yeah, just they're going to miss each other. And it's very much felt like a send-off to the actor, much like the kind of Tilly send-off. So...
just without as much of the sentimentality, because we don't care as much. He was nice enough, although his dialogue was also dubbed. Don't know if you could hear it. It wasn't even.
Oh, I did not notice that.
Yeah. It was okay. But then you get the first Rilek and Saru, and I mean, very hard for a Vulcan actress or actor to get. How do you play awkward / like, I couldn't tell. I thought she was generally snubbing him. Like, you said no, basically, so I'm not going to go after you anymore. But that's not the vibe later. But it's hard to tell. She's a very good Vulcan that you can't really see.
Oh, it spoke to what you said last week, you know, where he calls her up and she's just not busy doing anything, even though she's the president. Here she's got shit to do. Her representative's in her ear, like, she's like, I gotta go. Like, I love that because it kind of solved the problem that you had from last week a little bit. So, no, I didn't get the sense that she was snubbing him at all. But, yeah.
Well, the first time I thought there was a moment of I don't want to talk to you, but really the aide's pulling her away, without knowing the full context of the entire scene. Like, yeah, I just saw it one way the first time. But basically, he says, you know, I would love to have dinner, but I'm gonna probably go die on this mission. So, like you, bye. You know.
But he did mention more than friendship at one point.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Next thing. Adira's back, and I love this, how it's like, yeah, Gray's doing fine, whatever. Meanwhile, if everybody on this mission dies, Gray's going to be left with nobody except for the Guardians, I guess.
Well, all of the Trill symbionts, you know.
I know, and I love how Stamets even here is like, oh yeah, it's great, you know, without you making all the adjustments to the shield emitters, we could all die. Thank you, Stamets. You're such a good father figure.
So we're saying Adira is now the genius that's making all this possible? Adira was never that smart.
Nope. Well, that's the implication here. If you weren't here repairing our shield emitters, there's no way we get to the Galactic Barrier at all. And she's like, oh, well, I got to get back to work.
Adira was never.
They say they got to get back to work.
Was never that smart. Because they were never the Tilly character, although definitely Tilly vibes again. Minimally used, very much. This is very much a scene of, remember, they're in this show. Because we forgot, as the audience. Honestly. Although Burnham does a good job. I mean, Sneak was really just taking his captaining much better. Far more centered, far more calm, far more, you know, logical. Yeah. Which is ironic, because she was playing logical for a few seasons. Yeah. It almost feels like a deleted scene they kept in, you know? Like, it's sort of a bit off kilter. It's like, it's not to the main story. It's a character, yeah.
Kit 10K throws in $20. With all they're doing to say that no ship can get through the barrier, they are ignoring what the 1701 Enterprise went through with the aliens from Andromeda Galaxy and the Enterprise D1. Actually, the TOS Enterprise went through twice. Once in Is There No Truth in Beauty, where the Kelvins take it outside. That's By Any Other Name. Is There No Truth in Beauty, and By Any Other Name, both times the Enterprise left the galaxy. Where No Man Has Gone Before, they started to go through and had to turn around. And that's the Gary 7 thing. And then in TNG, Where No One Has Gone Before, they also leave the galaxy because of the Traveler. So, but that's different. I can understand the Traveler one helping them get through the Galactic Barrier, but other than that, it was just literally the TOS Enterprise just cruising on through.
It just enhanced a bit.
Yeah,
Which also means
yeah,
the Andromedans are more advanced than first century people.
yeah. Which would make sense
Or
too.
they've replica of matter. I mean, they did the thing. Well, I mean, they can make the ship go to warp like 27. So yes, they clearly. Yeah, and it's funny how also that line of Vance in the early scene saying we've never gone through it before is a dub in the sense that we're not on his mouth when he says it. Some might be able to reshoot to add it in, but he's wrong. Like he's just flat out wrong. And you assume with all random ships, just the Enterprises won't have gone through random experiments. So he's just flat out wrong. And you can imagine he wouldn't necessarily know the history, being just a random admiral, but you'd assume he'd read up
Mm.
on the Great Barrier and down the
Yeah,
Wikipedia article for Great Barrier to say, oh, there's been 27 go-throughs, or at least the 3 we know. So he's just flat out wrong.
yeah,
And the show does a bad
yeah.
job of... Because they should have... It would have been logical to have a little conversation saying, there's only 2 times we've ever gone through. The Enterprise under Kirk, and that would have been a great name drop scene. But he's just wrong. And you know the audience...
There should have been a joke. We should maybe rename the Discovery Enterprise.
Yeah. Yeah. And yes, Logan 1. Yeah, the trillness of Adira is 0%. Got a symbiont. I know we can't really connect to the memories, but 0. It's astoundingly underused. Well, not used. I mean, there's nothing. Very strange.
Yeah, and going back to the Galactic Barrier thing for a second, I gotta assume more ships did it.
Yeah.
We just didn't see because things happen, So
Other travelers, just things.
yep.
And the fact we have 2 in or 3 in canon is just a little bit laughable. Yeah, but he's not infallible, but we know he's wrong, which is kind of funny. So then we get the first of the discussion scenes with the President and Burnham, which I did like this actually because they call each other out. Burnham says, "Don't be doing whatever to my orders," and the President's like, "And don't be misunderstanding what I'm meaning, because you were wrong to misunderstand. So don't react to me, and don't react to
Yeah,
me."
we do understand the difference between asking a question and questioning your orders, right? Because that's what it was brought up in the last one as well.
Yeah, because Burnham's she's doing logical command choices. She's being called out for stupidity at the start, and that was one of those stupid things. So it kind of felt nice they found an equilibrium there. So I like that. It's actually feels earned, a mutual. You've been a bit of a bitch. Moving forward, because now president on the ship, you're gonna feel real stressful. Well, no, sorry, 2 presidents. Very important people
we
on
don't
the
know
ship.
that yet. Though.
No, we don't. Very important.
We do hear about the delegates being all in their cabins and it's like herding cats. I like that line.
Yeah.
And then we also get the explanation here that the Masila network thins out as you approach the Galactic Barrier, so we can get within 4 light years of it at closest.
Which is obviously extremely close. I mean, that's what, minutes at warp, seconds at warp. I mean, that's as close to next door as you can possibly get. Although I assume that's as close beyond safety limits. That's like the absolute point where we might not make it. When they don't make it, which is kind of the joke. Because I'm sure it'll be safe for like 20 light years or 50 light years.
Yeah. Then we get the speech from Burnham to the delegates and the crew saying, we've all dreamed of doing what no man has done before. Well, that's what we're going to do now.
What no one has done before. Get it?
But
look, Stuart, one of the delegates is the same Ferengi guy.
I know.
Which means, so if you go to the bar, he'll meet the same actor playing, because it's the same actor playing both Ferengi, we can tell. So, it's kind of funny.
And then we get the ham-fisted, shoehorned in, let's fly. Stop using it. Stop trying to make it a thing. Like in 1 or 2 instances, it might fit, but every time, even like 2 episodes ago, it was like, let's fly. Depressed. It's like, stop.
I'm just more sad about the door being back open again. We thought they fixed it, and the shop bay door's open.
Yep. Ensign Ricky, $5. Good to see you, Ensign Ricky. I thought the season was pretty decent all around. I still think they're going to link Picard and Discovery through the DMA somehow. Hopeful as well. Yeah. With the overlap of episodes, I think it might be a distinct possibility considering this one led the episode off with the frickin' Picard comm badge on the table. It's like, oh.
But I mean, the only way to link a DMA is if a DMA appears if a DMA from that part of time and it also appears. I mean, the DMA is a certain bit of technology in the present. So, are you saying this race has had them for 700 years? I guess, maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't see
Yeah.
how you would link it. I mean, they're not really those sorts of storylines. You can't just link it, really. You know?
Yeah. Then we get they jump, but they're 9 light years away from the Galactic Barrier. She's like, "You owe me 5 light years." Sorry, it's not an exact science. Not an exact science. Screw you. You can jump anywhere in your galaxy.
Well, we saw last
Pinpoint
episode
accuracy.
they jumped in the DMA in the
Yeah.
bubble within
Yeah.
pinpoint
In front of Book's ship.
before we even knew where he was jumping. So it is well, I mean, he means obviously with 1,000 light years, 10,000, 5,000 light years, it gets less accurate. If it's 20 meters, it's
And the
different.
thinning out of the mycelial network. Yeah.
But it's funny. He makes it pinpoint accurate every single time, so it is an exact science. It's just not at that. And I do quite like that though. They fail a little bit, and you know, over double as far, but still very very close. And at their warp speeds, that's again minutes.
Yeah. Not even worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Then we get the Dr. Culver and Saru scene where he's going to talk to them about the crew, and then they run into, what's her name?
I think President Rillick.
Rillick, yeah, that's it. No, it's how'd her name again with a T? Rillick is the Federation president. Anyway, they run into the Navarian president, and she's on board because the delegate didn't make it on time, and he's like, "Oh," Saru freaks out. He's like, "Oh my god, I didn't know I'd be seeing her every day at meetings, and now." And Culver's like, "Yeah, I'm really proud of you. You know, you said something to her, high five," and then talked about never having the right word when you meet that person, and whatever. So good little discussion, but
again makes the grand scale of the episode feels a bit smaller when this is as important as other stuff. I'll say bad
filler. This is filler in a filler episode.
Well, thing is, it could have been super amazing this relationship, and it just isn't.
Yeah.
You know, although it's also funny. Yeah, he says, "I'll see you every day at meetings." You've already said you don't think the meeting will take 3 hours to meet the people. Like you're going to be with them at less than a day. So what meetings are you having that you're going to have to see her? You aren't spending 6 weeks out there. This is going to be a day, 2 days, 3 days max. So really, what a silly comment.
Well, they don't know.
Especially once you get past the Great Barrier back, we'll jump straight away.
Yeah, they've even said a few times they don't know how long if they're even coming back.
Yeah, it's just
they've made that point a few times. So, Ensign Ricky, $2. This will be All Good Things Part 2. Just watch. You mean Part 3? That'll be the name of the last episode. All Good Things Part 3. Kit 10K, $10. Only 51 likes, guys. At least at the time I wrote this. Come on, let's get up to 70. I'm gonna go for 80. We have 83 people. Let's hit 80 likes.
And Christian says these tanks look stupid. Yeah, why are they still using oxygen tanks in the 30th?
On season 1, sure, cool. It kind of fits with the TOS, nature. But
yeah, why didn't they redress the corridors? I mean, it's embarrassing, really. I mean, what scientist, what person on this century would say, "Oh yeah, still use 1,000-year-old tech"? Because this is old by Star Trek standards. Seriously, it's embarrassing. I mean, the show is embarrassing. You guys know it's embarrassing in many ways.
Ooh, then we get the quarry.
Ah, yes.
The rock quarry, which has been used like 5 times now.
Yep, and very ugly color grade as well.
Most of the show is.
Well, this especially.
Yeah. But
no, it's into an Emerald Chain facility. I didn't think that was a big reveal, but Book's like, "Oh my god, you didn't tell me!" And I'm like, "Why didn't you tell him?" It's an unnecessary, really unnecessary tension. They should just have a walk in and then start the story. They do like 3 of these flashback bits that are so unnecessary. And if he goes here every year, why is he this tentative? He shouldn't be. It's all super stretched. Super stretched.
Then we meet Oros.
Well, we meet bloody hair dyed him.
Well, yeah, the young Tarka looks good. It was a good.
It was good.
Yeah. Thing.
Good alien makeup.
Yeah,
Reminds me of the aliens from the Delta Quadrant. Kind of that. Well, there's lots of them. Sorry, the prehistoric dinosaur people.
Oh, the Voth.
Yeah, thank you, Voth.
Yeah. Nice awkward little meeting. Seems like a nice enough guy, but his partner's head got blown up, which we find out later. Mm-hmm. So they're basically helping him, giving him a new person to work with. So
And throughout all of these scenes, you get a sense they're not at all monitored. Like zero.
They're not what? Sorry.
Throughout all these scenes, you get a sense they're not at all monitored, because they get to talk freely, they get to sleep in the same room, they get to do equations on the back, even though he's clearly the most genius scientist they have, otherwise they wouldn't have sent the other most genius guy to deal with. And then it's very strange. You would think there'd be guards outside, you think they'd come in, you'd think there'd be some presence. And I was kind of assuming Asira would just show up as well, honestly. I thought she would come in and be like, you boys, have you worked out my thing for me? You know, give a bit of meat to the storyline. Maybe shoot someone else in front of them or something. But they feel completely doing their own thing, despite implied being one of the biggest, most important, other warp drive unit developers. It's really weird framing. It feels like a pandemic shoot where they're both in their little COVID bubble and they're shooting them every day, and yeah.
Well, this is where we find out about the galactic proper distance equations. Important. Find out that Tarka was by himself in solitary for 4 to 5 years. Doesn't remember, but
I thought I said 8 years.
No, 4 to 5. 4 or 5. He said he lost count.
Okay. Well, which is fair, because it could be more if you want to retcon that. But that's pretty dramatic. You wonder why. And this is God knows how far in the past as well. I mean, enough for him to go grey, and he was being stressed for years. So,
Grey can sometimes be a choice.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's nice meeting this scientist guy and, finding out, a little bit about him. But Captain Kurt throws in $20.
Ah, thank you.
They seemed concerned about the delay when they were 9 light years away. How fast is warp in the 31st century? Is it the same as Voyager era, or is standard warp now the equivalent of Voyager or transwarp? They never clarify that. We don't know if it's transwarp numbers, because we know the scale changed from TOS to TNG. I'm sure it changed once or twice more during the course of 900 years, but we never get any explanation of that.
So I just did I looked at the calculation, the famous scale chart. 5 light years, warp 9.9999, which is one more 9 than Prometheus, is 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Warp 9.99 is 6 hours, so you double that. So it'd be less than 12 hours at 9.99, and they're going to be at least a ton faster than that. So I would say you're looking at most a 4 or 5 hour, at most, delay. And they're not going to go cruising, they're going to go maximum speed. Of course they are. So I would say even, but I mean, 2 hours is 2 hours, 2 hours of, they could come back at us.
Especially later when you find out there's only 71 hours left to you, kind of thing. It's a big chunk out of that.
But here we are, guys. We arrived at the Great Barrier, and it does not look like the Great Barrier from TOS.
Well, as we said in our other review, it would make sense if this was like the weak spot, a tear, a rip, where the energy or the DMA came through. This was the weak spot. So it looks different. Visually cool, awesome, but they don't explain any of that. This is just retcon visual for retcon visual's sake.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. That was the thing we said, because if this is that, they're trying to match. The galaxy is huge, so they're gonna go through the exact point that exactly focuses on where the other aliens are. So that's like the exact point they tunneled through. When they get there, they say it's overly high density than they were expecting, so it's already slightly off.
Of negative energy. Yeah.
Whatever that means. So it would have been, like I said, phenomenal if they'd said, oh wow, and showing the image, it should have been this big purple, clean, no lightning anomaly, which is canon. And here it's this, because I'm not going to say this is what it looks like for real. This is definitely a, DMA based. We had to rip it to go through it, which will explain why all the blood vessels are in it, because they're trying to heal.
The spatial cells. Yeah.
Exactly. Because Lightning Storm is just such an overused gimmick. Just give me a big plasma field of purple would have been so much nicer. And, Canon. So they're breaking Canon by this, but they don't. They always do. But, Discovery in itself is a visual ignored. Just ignore it as canon visually, so. But yeah, there it is. Great Barrier.
So the idea is to go through into one of these cells to pass through. With only 95% of them are unstable or too small. So there's only select ones that they can use.
And isn't it great how the spores expert is doing space math with a galactic Great Barrier of energy? His specialty is spores, organic spores. And these aren't organic cells; they're matter. This is not his forte. Like, where's
Yeah.
Jet Reno? You know, not even cameoing any episode.
No idea. But their shields go down really quick. The color fades until they get into this one cell. Yeah.
And we don't get a sense. They never say how long it'll take to get through, because they say going in. They know how. They should know roughly how dense it is, and they say because their only plan is just fly through it, right? So their shields, they've mathed their shield will hold, which means they know how deep it is, they know how much damage it's going to cause. Otherwise, there's no plan B. They didn't know these things were here, so the fact they're hearing there's more density of particles is going to be bad. But then I've got to think, well, Tarka and his thing, if he comes here, there's no way that ship's going to get through. And they've got way less shielding compared to the Discovery, the crossfield refit. So it doesn't matter how much shield power they have. The thing already took them down in minutes. So I assume we're not going to see them go through, because how the hell they can't? I don't see any way they could. You know.
Yeah.
So it was a weird set of sequences.
The Smiling Tribble. Wow, all this criticism, disappointment, and picking the show apart will save me the time of watching it now. Thanks, I reckon.
Yeah.
Just the last 3 episodes have been The rest of the season was pretty good leading up to it, but
I think it's a fine watch. It actually is a fine watch. There's so little.
It'd be better on a binge watch, though.
Well, sure, but there's so little to talk about story-wise that we're left to talk about the small tech stuff that we can talk about, because really it's just the entire the summary is they have to get through the barrier and they have to go through some cells to go through it. That's the entire plot there. B plot: Tarka finds his old matter and talks about his old mate. That's the entire plot there. That's it. There's nothing else story-wise in terms of the main plots. So we're having the fun of just analysing the small stuff, which is the tech stuff we can relate to. And this is an iconic piece of sci. It's the second episode of Trek has this Great Barrier, and they've visually retconned it. So
Ooh, Kit 10K has $10 super chat with another challenge. This one's an interesting one. I'm going to issue a different challenge from what I usually do for this video. I will match $1 for each like in this video. So come on, guys, give me a challenge and get those likes up. Yeah, we can. Well, we have 100 people right now, so let's go for 100. That's usually my next goal would be 80, but I'll just say 100.
That's great. That's a fun one actually as well. I'm glad you didn't do it yesterday for the card one. That would have been a real whew. No sir.
Yeah.
Too much for you.
But I'm gonna tuned in at the last 20 seconds of that live yesterday. Kit 10K missed the whole thing. Tuned in 20 seconds just as we were saying goodbye. So.
I'm gonna do a poll, Stuart, because I haven't done any.
Yeah, please do. But yeah, there's a new super chat goal, or super chat. I mean, like goal, guys. 100 likes. Hit that like button if you haven't. Yeah, the fact that these bubbles, these spatial cells are here is interesting and weird. It would make sense if the barrier was damaged because the DNA came through there, which visually it looks like happened. It looks like a tear. It really does. But I wish they would have explained that. It was never said. It would have been a perfect line of dialogue to help out why they chose this area, why it looks different than what we've seen before.
Would have been super exciting if that was the concept.
Yeah. And would explain the bubbles as well. Because, if, like you said, if they didn't have those here and there was just the greater particles of negative energy, they'd be screwed. They would never make it through. So, yeah. So there is the poll. Go vote on the poll as well, guys. What did you think of this episode? Liked it? Loved it? Meh? Didn't like it?
Straightforward.
Yeah,
so they travel a bit and all's going well. They're gonna shows how easy it is to travel this thing, because these molecules will just go to the other side. Mm-hmm. Oh, with 3-dimensional space, and it's gonna go this way, is it?
Mm-hmm. This is the way.
But present person comes aboard and says, Burnham, quick talk.
We have something to talk about.
And then it cuts back to the cloak ship. People have been scavenging it. They find the place.
I'm trying to get ahead here in the dialogue to see if there's anything interesting, but there's not.
And then a vaguely romance feeling homosexual scene where he rubs the back of this alien, and it feels as if they're going that direction of, I'm totally into you.
The first time that he talked about him, they seemed like they were romantic, for sure. I didn't get that here, though, because Oros looks so young and sounds so young that it's almost like Tarka's just reassuring him. And it doesn't necessarily feel romantic to me, but it could be taken that way, I'm sure.
Yeah, they don't give us any specific version. Having rewatched it though, understanding that this man was stolen from his people at a certain age, he was alone for 5 years, and so he didn't see anybody in 5 years. So this is his only friend, and he does say his best friend in those years. So if you only hang out with one person that many years, you're going to form a special bond with them, and you find the way of getting out of the universe, out of this repressive hole that you found yourself in. I can imagine having that level of bond with the person because of those things. So it's fine that it's, you know, heterosexual, non-romance, but it's a weird tension there, which is or isn't intentional. But no, he rubbers back and he tells him about the interdimensionality and
interdimensional transporter that he's working on,
which was so easy to make in DS9.
Yeah,
like they made it and people used it.
And they also talk about this camp runs off a massive geothermal energy source combined with the power from the warp core that we're building. It could be enough. And then where would you go when you get Kalis, which translates, which is like a myth among his people essentially, and it translates roughly to home. That's why Tarka's been saying I want to go home this whole time, because Tarka is from this universe. I want to make that point again, because it's like the 50th freaking time I've said it. Everybody thinks he's from a different universe trying to go home. No, he just wants to go to. He met this scientist guy, said there's another place we could go. That's where he wants to go. He is from this universe. It's frustrating.
Yeah, but you know, nice to be fully confirmed, etc. And I do like how it brings it all the way down into it's just a myth from a race he met. There's no specific science to back it up as being a special thing. He's not from this universe. There's nothing else. It's just his best friend told about a place that he wanted to. He has faith to believe in as well.
Yeah.
And yet he found it with his math science, but doesn't mean he proved it. You know, there's still a guess, an assumption. You know, if you look at the stars and, you know, we see an Orion's belt. We proved Orion's belt's there. One of those 3 stars. I mean, we interpret it as that.
The galaxy is an Orion's belt, from what I hear.
That's a good film. So, but I like that. It goes away from being this, like, it's gonna, for me, it's gonna blow up in his face of not gonna be what he's expecting, which I like. There isn't this certainty. So I do like that. Although the transporter, it must be a universe that's very far away. They do say explicitly that you need more power to pinpoint the universe, because in Mirror Universe, literally a tube this big can transport you. I mean, you plug it into any transporter and it can beam you. Any transporter and it's efficient. Only that much power is needed. But the further away the universe is, the more power. And if he's obviously worked out there's one universe we're going to, so that one needs a lot of power. So it's not so much you need lots of power to beam. It's just that one is a lot of power.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, geothermal energy is only so much, and there are other planets with such resources. So if he thinks one geothermal plus one warp core, surely Starfleet can manage that happily, and the DMA is going to be infinitely bigger, like millions of times bigger. So it's kind of absurd. Look, Tarka couldn't find the powers at any point in the last 10 years, whatever. Bit of a plot hole, I think. But they, okay, you know.
Laughable Larry says, I feel like they're setting up the other universe being the prime. I hope so, yes.
That's interesting.
No, that's what I've been thinking for a while.
Since the first scene of Discovery Season 1.
Since 2009.
Wow.
Well, anyway, Kit 10K throws in $5. Says, let me know roughly 5 minutes before you guys are done so I can match the money with the likes. Absolutely. Speaking of likes, guys, hit that like button if you haven't.
Yes.
The likes goal right now is 100, so 14 more likes, guys. Then we get the message from Vance, which is fragmented and doesn't finish, but basically the DMA is back harvesting a new location in the Alpha Quadrant, which, and we called this Earth is threatened, and so is Navarre.
Yeah.
In the next few days, 71 hours by their best estimations. They got 71 hours before it's going to destroy.
Although in fairness, it's not moving towards either. It's the debris from the gravimetric anomaly. So it's going to destroy a planet or moon, both sides of the anomaly, and both debris will crash into both planets, despite space being huge in 3D. And so there's enough debris that they guarantee is going to be destroyed to hit 2 marbles in a ball pit. doesn't make
people-
sense.
No, and people have asked, did they do target Earth deliberately? No, there's no reason for them to. Tarka's not from Earth.
Nope.
Tarka's from Ryza.
Books
Book is
Earth.
from Quajon.
Mhm.
And the Federation isn't even home. Like Earth isn't even the Federation's home anymore. Earth isn't even a member of the Federation.
Mhm.
There's no reason at all they would be targeting them. Even Navarre, who just joined the Federation, very unlikely. So no, it's just a coincidence.
But it's not, though. They are being targeted because Galaxy being huge, the chances of a 14 light year anomaly being in between 16 light years with a distance, in between the two, not one side of Earth, 16 from Navarre, in between the two, and not like lengthwise where one's far from mother, exactly the same distance to destroy both, is 0% chance. Because the thing is almost the entire length of that distance. So they're attacking both planets deliberately. And there's zero... I mean, statistically, there's zero chance of it being there for any other reason. Now, I wish they'd said either one of two things. One, they'd said there's a massive amount of that special matter, whatever it was called, Bosemite, whatever it was, between Earth and Navarre, and they can say, oh, that's why it's got a very high amount. So coincidence, okay, it's not a coincidence. Or B, they should say there's no matter between there, which tells you they're being attacked. But biggest plot hole convenience of Discovery so far, if that's the case, because mathematics doesn't work.
General Grievous throws in $2. It looks too much like the Voyager sentient nebula. Yeah, the pitcher plant. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So they have a discussion here of I need to tell my crew, that I'm from Earth. It's very important to them. And the president's like, no, this is one thing we can control right now. It's not a good time to do that. I kind of agree with Burnham here, though. I think it would raise the stakes for everybody and make everybody work a little harder, especially if they know there's a timeline. I know you don't need to necessarily do that because they're officers, they're going to do their job, but it's kind of a double-edged sword. One way it's a good thing, one way it's a bad thing if they know. So I agree with both of them, but more with Burnham in this case because she wants to tell everybody.
Oh, the DMA is 5 lights in diameter, not 10. Still, equal distance from both, not a coincidence. Just check that up. Now, are you on which side are you on? Tell the crew or not?
I just said that.
I was reading the thing about DMA. Sorry.
Oh, definitely on Burnham's side.
Okay.
Tell them. Because I think I'd make them hustle their asses a bit more in certain circumstances. If they know there's a timeline, especially 71 hours, I don't know. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword. It's good to tell them and it's bad to tell them. It can definitely distract some people from their jobs and make them worry and freak out.
But this team...
Overall, I think it's a good idea.
But this team has dealt with everything under the sun, so that's not going to... I mean, this Earth isn't their home. Part of Earth is your families are there. None of their families are alive. Yeah. So it's a planet that you once lived on. So really, this ship is your home. I'm sorry, it's like once your parents pass away, the hometown you're born in is way less special, It's just the nature of that sort of moving onness.
Yeah. But they don't make a decision. Well, Burnham decides they're not going to tell them right now. So she gets called back to the bridge, and then we run into a traffic jam. The cell they're in is blocked behind a bunch of other ones. Could take hours, could go through right away, or it could take weeks. And they kind of look at each other like, we only have 71 hours. Basically, I guess they try to run through different bubbles here is what. Yeah, and their shields are going to take a hit each time, so. Yeah. And this is where Stamets says I'm cautiously optimistic ish, which I fucking laughed out loud at because we say that about everything here.
One of your catchphrases.
Yeah. So
then we get the next cutaway. They're bonding. They're friends. No one's watching them. They're doing secret math. And then he tells them, oh, look at those shelves that are clearly empty. They're empty. Yes, I know. Come look at this bit. Whatever. But no, they find a stash of this matter, which I guess also powers a warp core or something. Well, no, I guess it would, wouldn't it? Yeah. If it's repel antimatter. And then we come back to the past. They build the transporter. They think they have enough power. Turns on. Doesn't work because there's not enough power. And the guards come in. End of flashback.
Yeah, I'm still trying to catch up with
Back
that.
to flashback. Tarka kills the guards.
Oh.
Stuns his own thing. No more guards come, even this is a specialist research station.
Well,
the most important project possible is just
the guard.
Other warp drive units, but...
The guard does say thank you for informing us, because Tarka let them know about this guy's building this early on, before he got to know him, and felt bad for betraying him, but...
He was a spy. Quite underwhelming, though, as a reveal, because they don't ever hint at it at all. So it honestly feels like... It feels like the guard's lying, honestly. If I was to bet, I would have said he's lying, just to piss everyone off. Yeah. Personally. Yeah.
But you definitely see how he gets his scar, because when he pulls the thing off, it's like, oh, he doesn't want to get that removed. He made a point of that earlier. Scars remind us of things.
But I'm just amazed how even though there's an alarm going on, no other guards appear. No scanners, no beaming. Because everyone's got portable beaming tech. No one beams in. No one tries to stop him. I don't really buy he can escape. It's a pretty lazy feeling set of sequences, honestly. Every time there's long, drawn-out conversation, it's like, literally they'll beam in any second. They literally don't.
Basically, Oro says, "Go, leave. I'll try to."
Because I can't walk because I got hit in the head. So this is your one chance to live. You would find the adrenaline, you know. It's a very contrived plot line. I didn't.
So and then he says he hid in a cave for a week or whatever, and then escaped, and he's come back every year. To see, and he's got the symbol for their golden ratio. So it's an indication that he actually got the thing to work, and he left that symbol for Tarka, and Tarka keeps coming back. And that's where we learned that he built his own transporter. He just needed a way to power it, which the DMA was going to provide. So
even though there's no other power source in the galaxy could do it, this guy did it on a planet which everyone train controlled. Easy. And isn't it a bit weird at this point that Tarka, who was the villain of last week, is now the goodie again? They've managed to completely re-180 him because of plot convenience.
I didn't think he was a baddie last week at all.
No, but I mean, they're trying to show him as if he was the antagonist at the end, doing it wrong, and now he's a good guy again because we're making him sympathise. So they're playing with
started out by saying, "Tell me who I'm dealing with," and then after this whole freaking speech, Tarka's like, "That's who you're dealing with," and walks away. Then we cut to the next Galactic Barrier. But yeah, they're basically going bubble to bubble. Their shields are going down. Their shields get down to like 4%. 4%. Yeah.
But I do appreciate the ship isn't literally flying apart, breaking, destroying. Like, there isn't just fire everywhere. Because normally in the show, 50% everything's on fire, like figuratively. So 4% the ship's still fine. It's like, good. Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, they all talk about where they're going to be after this, and it's Oregon coast. I'm going to Hawaii. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Yay, they love Earth.
But they get into the safety of the thing, and they ride it home. Or ride it out. That easy.
Oh, I don't understand why the ship spins at one point, though.
Because they get hit by lightning.
That's stupid.
Now we have Adira and Stamets, and he apologizes to Adira about being too much, and a scene happens. And then what happens after that?
Hold on, I'm getting there. You're really flying through this.
Okay.
I'm just trying to catch up. Yeah, my dad was never there for me, so I'm going to be there for you. A little bit over much. Then we get the whole thing about in the ready room of respect your decision, but there's more going on here. We find out that the president, her husband, boyfriend, whatever, got a new assignment on Earth's moon,
which is fun because they're not even joined the Federation yet. That's how much of connection they have now that you can go back there all of a sudden.
And Burnham's like, "Well, you didn't tell me," and she's like, "Well, it wouldn't help him, so why would I tell you?" And then you get Burnham being like, "Oh, I'm so angry. The only two planets I ever knew as home, Earth and Navarre." And it's like, of course.
But she doesn't sound angry though. She keeps it Captain angry. Like, I'm saying I'm angry.
she says she's angry at the situation, at the DMA creators, at Book.
But she's not doing. She's not yelling like season 1 Burnham. I'm angry, President. No, it's very captainy. It's good.
We find out her mother hasn't returned to Navarre. Her mother's a lot lady on the other planet.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's an interesting enough dialogue here, but anyway.
And did she say her mum was on Earth still? I'm pretty sure she said her mum was the president's mum was on Earth.
Her mother's family. Her mother's family's on Earth. That's what she says. Yes.
Because the Earth wasn't letting people come to Earth, so she hasn't seen her mum's family in decades. If Earth seceded after the burn, I'm just saying.
Yeah, because she's been a Federation ambassador for 20 years.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, no, actually, yeah. Then she must have left Earth to find the Federation when she was young, because she ain't 100. And Earth left after the burn, so does that make sense? Unless it's literally like my second cousin, and I've.
I don't think they're forbidding people from coming to Earth, because when they approached Earth the first time, they like had an escort down and stuff. It was just no official capacity from the Federation, so you could probably go visit your family and shit. Would be my guess.
Yeah, but if she's yeah, I mean they haven't thought it through, Stuart, because they wrote that first, so now they're writing this, so the tones don't necessarily connect. But Stuart, read out the poll results and South's new light goal.
We have 93 votes on the poll. Mm-hmm. 7 more votes on the poll would be great. Yeah. We also have 93 likes.
I know, wow. It's all that. Yeah.
So 7 more likes to get to 100. Let's get to 100 likes, guys. Mm-hmm. Remember, Kit 10K is going to match $1 for every like. So if you guys want to get above 100, we'd appreciate it. But the poll
so literally
is...
every like is $1. That's amazing.
Yes. Yeah. What did you think of this episode? Liked it, loved it, meh, or didn't like it? Meh wins with 43%. That's kind of our vibe as well. Liked it at 41%. Wow, that's high, actually. Didn't like it at 10% and loved it at 6%.
That's really interesting. Because this is better than last week, I think, but only some of it. And that's better than the week before. It's very strange. And yes, Ensign Ricky really wants you to read out his comment.
Ending. Crew makes it to the 10C, but no one survives but Michael. She meets Q, who praises her and says, "You're the only one that made it here. I knew you would be the one. It was you all along. It was a race between you and Picard, and poor Jean-Luc failed. You are far superior. I bow to the superior human. Please rule us. Rule the Q continuum. Stop the discord within the continuum. We love you. There you have Q powers now." That's how it's going to end. Yeah, great. Good.
Wow, that's a bold... And that's your official suggestion, right?
Sure. Unofficially official. Unofficially official.
Right.
Suggestion.
Okay.
Not endorsed by Trekyards. The opinions expressed in these lives do not necessarily reflect those of Trekyards, or it's just, yeah.
But this is a good enough chat. And then we have Book and...
Just don't blame yourself for leaving him behind, and let's go stop the DMA.
And he's so friendly towards him now. Everything's been forgiven. You literally almost killed my girlfriend, all of her friends.
Yeah.
And you almost destroyed the galaxy.
Story. You have a painful story, so we have to love you now. Honestly,
Book has played the fool this week. I'm sorry, but he is. But, okay. But they escaped the Galactic Barrier. It was that easy.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they tell the crew. They choose.
Well, I love this. It's like... Then Burnham looks at her like, "I think you should do it." And then later she asks her, why did you want me to because I don't fucking want to give people bad news like that.
I will get blamed.
Stupid question is that?
Yeah, it was so like obviously self-centered. I love it. It's like you can tell them. Everyone sort of likes you. I'll leave them to like me. Yeah.
You're the president. Yeah, I'm their captain. They see me every day. They don't have to see you every day.
They can't mutiny you. So what does she say to it?
You want me to read it?
No, just summarize.
Oh, yeah. She just tells them that they've overcome their first hurdle on this mission. There's probably a few more, but another thing is coming up. Earth and Navarre are a threat right now, and there's 71 hours given the timetable. So that's what it.
I do appreciate we finally have a meaningful ticking clock. Because every time, but like that doesn't quite, remember the first time DMA appeared, we said it's not all capable. It can't do any damage to anybody. Same time it moved. Well, it's not a weapon. It's targeting things that are. It stays for so long. It's not a target. It's not a threat. So finally, it's a threat.
Metallica fan 1442 puts in £5.
Thank you.
Sorry, late to the stream.
That's
the way
okay.
they did the Galactic Barrier really bugged me, as if it's an organic life form with cells, etc. Yeah, I know.
But it
Give me immunity syndrome vibes for sure.
But it would have been great if they said they hurt the barrier and it's healing and galactic healing would have been great.
Yes. General Grievous $2. President Kai Wynn. LOL. Oh, she's not anywhere near as bad as Kai Wynn. Come on now.
She's actually quite nice, and she's also murdered in the season because she was brand new as well at the start of the season. So she's getting experience along with everyone else. So yeah, so
made a scene.
First speech.
Scene between the Navarro president and Saru. She's like, "I find you comforting. Will you come and sit with me?" It's like, oh.
And this definitely helps for sure. This little payoff. Although it would have been great to have seen as he walks in, see the Ferengi talking to the Ferengi at the bar. It's just a split screen.
Yeah.
They're sharing stories, or give them a line of dialogue. Ignore them all season. Have one Ferengi talk to another Ferengi at the bar. I'm just saying it would have been great. But yeah, it's nice enough. Although, boy, if this ship goes down, big old ship to go down, a lot of important people. I also like how it's just not, since they're traveling to this planet, which we'll get to in a minute, like, no one's busy. No one's not doing things. This is, the only people really busy are the pilot, who's autopilot, Adira, who's, I guess, fixing the ship, and I guess the dots are fixing it. But Saru's not sciencing, the delegates aren't doing anything. Like, there's nothing they can do until they get there, and so it's very, like, waiting for the unknown sort of mini thing.
Squadra course $2. Hi all, did you start early or change the time? Well, for the last little while, we've been starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so.
Yeah, we've been for about 2 weeks now. Yeah, we started at the end of Prodigy, so Discovery came out to fourth. This is our 4th week. It's
going to be the new normal.
It's not. It's both better and more annoying. Makes dinner much harder, but it means less. Means I can go to bed a little bit earlier, but dinner's harder. Yeah. So yeah, it's weird.
Yep. Yeah. It's a good compromise. Put it that way.
Well, it's an adjustment. But Logan will also ask a good question with an easy answer though. How is the president the best diplomatic ambassador in the past 20 years? They haven't been able to go anywhere because of the burn. Incorrect. They can go places. They have limited lithium, which they misinterpret as fuel. They have had ships always going out, but they've never chosen to do missions too far out because it takes too much time and resources. So, but when the burn is just doing so much chaos, then you do need an ambassador to fly out to different planets and say, sorry, we need to help you here, or this or that. So no, they can, and I'm sure you'd give the most important ambassador as much lithium as they need. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So no, they could still go, just limited missions. But yes, a lot less diplomacy when you can only go to like 50 planets.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, a lot of telecommunication Zoom calls between planets she's probably on. She doesn't travel always to them. Yes. Like warp to real time communication distance and then call them would be the obvious thing.
Yeah. They were talking about the hyperfield, and then we find out there's a planet 2 light years away from it.
Yes.
With no life, initial life scans show no life, but given its proximity, we should check it out. Might help with first contact. So you know what that means? The whole next episode is going to be like, look at this planet. Let's beam down. Oh, look, there's ancient ruins. Oh my God. Da da da. And then we're still not going to know what this freaking 10C is at the end of the episode.
Yeah. 100%.
Unfortunately, that's the thing. And hopefully something interesting is on the planet. That's all I have to say. But
guys, keep clicking the like button with at least 130 likes, I'm going to say. Can you help us get to that? It does make a big difference this live. No, I agree with you. And personally, I find it a bit of an odd concept. You got one chance to go speak to these guys. They've already scanned you because they know you've reached the Great Barrier. They've got big enough scanners. 2 light years is like if I go to your house, Stuart, and I'm on your porch and I'm looking at your porch. You can stand inside your house and see me outside your porch. Oh, there he is. So 2 light years is literally nowhere distant. So they're not sneak attacking. I was expecting, honestly, the big sting at the end to be they come out the Great Barrier and suddenly and a really cool, interesting ship kind of Slipstream, specifically Slipstream, and then and the whole ship gets beamed into their shuttle bay,
or
you know,
or the hyperfield goes and moves like
It's exponentially far away.
that's fun.
And they're like, ah, shit.
Ship
The whole hyperfield moves with the planets inside. That would be impressive. So
yeah, but do you know what I mean? Kind of like a Votha vibe of the Discovery that gets beamed inside the shuttle bay. We see multiple other ships, and it's like and it closed, and it's like, oh, I guess they found us, because there's zero rationale that they're not being scanned. So you're trying to scan.
They'd be able. As soon as they'd be able to escape, because be like, we have strategy. Nobody ever closes their shuttle bays. We could just fly out.
Well, we don't, so they shouldn't either. But it's just so strange, the pacing, because it's a big deal for an extra galactic ship to come through the big barrier. They're monitoring it. I don't understand the logic here. Just go straight to find them. What is this planet going to tell you, possibly? This thing is not from here. This thing has moved here, clearly. They're not going to invent this right here. I don't understand the logic of this. It seemed like an odd secondary thing. Now, it's fine it was fun if it was like 100 light years away. Well, it wouldn't be fine because they couldn't necessarily travel there. But it just seemed very odd. And certainly next week they're going to pad, look, ruins, look, special Because at 2 light years, they can basically, like, that's basically short-range sensors. That's not even long-range sensors at that point. Very strange.
Yes, sir. Squadra course. I bet Sam. Oh, it puts in $2. So thank you. I bet Sam will stay up late rendering anyway. Well, yeah, but he has the option to go bed a little bit earlier.
I don't, because I've got to be up at 8:30 because I'm filming with the team tomorrow. So no, got to be asleep much earlier today. I'm filming the.
I didn't mean specifically today, but most times we're talking about change start time.
Yes. Yeah. But less late is good.
General...
The caffeine keeps me up. So if I have 1 hour less caffeine, it obviously makes a difference.
Yes, General Grievous $5. DMA destroys Earth. A single tear drops down Burnham's cheek. She screams, flying around the galaxy, reversing time, while fearing she cannot interfere. Yep.
Goodness.
But then the whole, why did you all want me to do it? Because it's bad fucking news, bitch. I don't want to give that shit to my crew. No. They should have faith in their leaders.
Yeah,
and the whole,
fine.
Well, glad we're on the same page now. So.
And then we pan out Discovery at Transwarp Tunnel, Hyperspace Star Wars Tunnel. Like, it's curved. Why the hell is it curved? Why do they keep turning right? Why aren't they flying straight? Why is there a turn? Why would you turn? You just go straight.
Why is there a hyperspace tunnel?
I don't know.
Yeah. That's it.
And there we go.
So we'll do our summations. We'll do your super chat scores and the non-super chat scores, and then I'll notify Kit 10K that it's almost time. But hit that like button if you haven't. Try to get those likes up. Let's go to 130.
Oh, yes.
13 likes should be possible. So I'll just give my thought. I don't remember what I scored last week. Wouldn't mind
5.5.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this one is just seemed like a filler episode quite a bit, actually. Sure, we had like the B plot of Tarka and Book, and the C plot kind of a Saru, which broke it up a little bit. But as Samuel pointed out when he did our other review, and it took all the tension out of the barrier stuff. You get so excited for the barrier stuff, and then just, hey, look, there's 2 guys in a room. Whoop-de-doo. It wasn't even an interesting story, really. I mean, it was just retreading stuff we already knew, essentially. But it's better than the last 2 weeks for sure, but not stellar, and could have definitely been included in another. Like I said, make this whole thing with the DMA 4 or 5 episodes at most, then move on to another story. This stretching it out over the full season is material per episode, and I knew for a fact once we got outside the Galactic Barrier, we were going to just cut to next week. Next week's going to be this other planet. Then it's going to be actually entering the... It's like, seriously, guys, just get on with it. Move it along. Bored at this point.
Well, they just haven't got enough story to fill the time.
Yeah.
That's very strange.
Not enough story to fill the time yet. This one's like 51 minutes long or something. It's like it was unnecessarily long for what it was.
I was thrilled it was long. I was going like, yes, a proper length one.
Yeah. And then at 45 minutes, you're like, oh my god. Just, yeah. Score-wise, for this season, what was this season's score? 5.5?
It was, yeah, this season 5.5, All Discovery 6.9.
Okay, this season 5.5. This will probably get a 6.4. For all the Discovery, 7.2. There's some good visuals. There's some good, stuff, but overall, it was just stretched way too thin.
7 more likes, guys. 7 more likes. I'm gonna do one more quick poll as well, 'cause I'm interested.
Guys, now's your chance to send a super chat score. If you just send a super chat score, I'll read it when Samuel's done giving his score. If you just want to put your score out of 10 in the regular chat, he will read that when we are done. And then probably wrap this one up a little bit early, just because you got things to do. So
I want to ask a brief question to you all. Are you more, less, or the same excited for the last 3 after this episode? I'm less excited, honestly.
I am too.
They've lost momentum the last 3. And this one felt like the one we needed to start doing stuff. And they did a big thing, and it wasn't as impactful. I'm less excited, honestly. And that's very strange. This whole season is it's almost as interesting as season 1 of Discovery is. Like, they kit bashed that out of so much bullshit. And they made this in a weird world, and they made so many compromises. So strange. You know, so strange. My final review is, it's fine. It's just too long with not enough happening. It's not boring, but it's not engaging. And there is a difference. You don't need to watch it a second time. There's nothing else second time viewing it. Definitely won't be a watch for enjoyment. There's no single story to enjoy. The stuff with the scientists is nice, it's fine, it's too long. Book is hurt this week. Present's good. The first scene's the best scene in the entire episode with the tech. It's the best scene.
Yeah.
Because Kovic is a good actor.
And the Kovic hints. The 3-hour tour thing's interesting. I don't think they're getting back in the Galactic Barrier anytime soon.
And yeah, it's just a symptom of a greater problem of the season, where honestly it makes season 3 look so much better every episode. You know, that is a better season. I'll officially say it is happily a better season now than this season. And the payoff has to be so freaking good this season, and it won't be. You're right, it'll be 1 more episode on a planet, and then 2 more cliffhanger, and they'll each be 45 minutes, they'll be cut short. And they don't do the full time.
And the last episode's going to be a cliffhanger leading into the next season.
Yep, and it'll be not satisfying.
Yep.
My score, my brain doesn't know, so I think I'm going to use yours as a baseline, because like, it's hard to think. I think I'm going to say 6 out of 10 for this season. And I do think, Stuart, ready for this?
Yes, dear.
I would enjoy more of some of season 1 episodes over this.
Yeah.
Because they're...
I've been rewatching season 1 and I'm enjoying it, actually.
Some has more condensed, like... There's stupid canon things, and art design's bad, obviously, and some of the acting is atrocious, but they're more story-based. You know? This is just,
This is a piece of a story. This is not a story.
No.
It's not worth an episode.
I'll go 6. 6 of both, I think. I slightly above average because we've seen the worst ones. Very strange, guys. Please put in your score. I'm really intrigued to see your score out of this season Discovery and all the season. Really interested to see what you guys think. Super interested.
Christian Montgomery throws in $2. It says warp factor 6.5 out of 9.99999. Metallica fan 1442 puts in £5.
Dang.
Thank you so much. 6 out of 10 for me. Getting fed up how much they are dragging it out and less excited, as it will probably lead to a season 5 to conclude it. Yep. Season 5 is going to be
Their last season.
getting back into the galaxy or something.
Yeah.
It's going to be silliness.
Yeah.
And the cynical optimist throws in £5. When the DMA is finally explained, we learn the DMA really stands for didn't matter anyway.
I mean, at least in fairness, the DMA didn't kill many people. You know, it wasn't. There wasn't a big bad villain. It hasn't destroyed tens of thousands of planets. So we're not getting this horrible Discovery style destroying the universe plot. Now we are. In the very start we did was unknown. At the very end, now it's actually targeting Earth and Var. But at least we didn't get that. And also we're both going to hope that it'll be a very diplomacy-focused last couple where we can reason with them, blah, 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 blah. Interesting. Oh, box cap. Seems to be my least favourite. Why? It's just the quality of the writing. Really? Tell us why. I mean, for me, it's not even a competition. Right, non-super scores though, guys. Put them in now. Your score out of 10 for this episode. So, Colin says 7.5 out of 10. Tarka backstory can be summed up in under 2 minutes. Under 5. Be generous.
Yeah.
Eric, 8 out of 10. Squad, of course, excited for Stranger Worlds almost. Anton, 6 out of 10. Carship, 6 out of 10. Aussie, 6.6 out of 10. Donny, 10 out of 10. Double Guitars, 4.5 out of 10. SW Noir, 4 out of 10. Box Kept, 7 out of 10. General Goose, 5 out of 10. I mean, we're not normally as in line with the audience there. That's surprisingly the same.
Captain Kurt says 5 out of 10. So.
And George has 7 out of 10.
We hit 130 likes. Any more likes? Do them now, because this is time for me to say Kit 10K. Hello. Match dollar per like. That'd be amazing.
That will take us happily over our minimum. So thank you so much. We're actually having a good month this month. A lot of thanks to you as well. So thank you everybody. Had a couple of less good months there, income wise. So it's kind of nice to see the numbers kicking up a little bit. And even if it's not, yay, we're rich. Just higher is easier for our partners. Be like, why aren't you earning more? It's like, we're trying. So it's nice to be less stressed about that. But obviously Picard, we know it's going to kick into overdrive. We know, we're excited, more excited about that. And Stuart, God, do you think I would have said this? I'm more excited for Picard Season 2 and Discovery Season 4.
Nope.
That would be unheard of from last year.
I know.
It's true though.
Raised the stakes.
And of course, Stuart, we've got a ton of content coming out this week. Even so much Stuart has convinced me to release 2 videos tomorrow. 2! I've been doing double days of editing. It's been a busy old 2 days. So you're going to have 2 videos tomorrow. One doing a detailed breakdown first look. Yes, that's the thing. Of the new Stargazer. Multiple views. There's more information than you think on it. And looking at the tech. Doing a full comparison of the Discovery tech. Of the old tech we see in this episode. Double duty. Both tech. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. All the days will have full videos. Chin for that. And I guess next week will be Picard. So we're having the lead up to Picard will be full of Picard first looks. How cool is that?
It's very cool. Lots to see, guys. Make sure you're subscribed and notified.
And finish the poll, then you can read the super chat.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said you were going to read the poll. Hold on.
No, you finish polling.
Are you more or less excited about the final 3 episodes? The winner is the same, 40%. Less excited, 35%, and more excited, 25%. Yeah, I'm much less excited. This is just winding down poorly at this point. There is no other pause in Discovery box curve. Nope.
No pause on anything. Everything's.
It's going to be 3, according to the newest timetable. The card starts next week, so we're going to have 3 episodes of overlap, not just 2.
And Doug says the first 2 are the ones to look for as Trek fans. So those first 2 will be, yeah.
Busy. All right. Well, Kit 10K kept his word. Put in $140 super chat. Thank you so much, Kit. Got to take the dog. But I'm gonna go. So here's 140. Let's thank you very much, Kit. And Squadra Course throws in $1 for that last super chat slot and gets instantly sniped by Metallica fan 1442 with £2. Thanks for the live stream and 2 videos tomorrow. No problem, man.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
You might even be one more. Might be down another double day before the Picard because there's literally so many things. So look forward to that. Which is good. Hey, I mean, I'd put one more quick cheeky poll, Stuart. So quickly vote on that.
That was going to be 100% until. God damn it! whoever voted. Okay, are you more excited for Discovery Season 4, the end, or weird wording? But yes, are you excited for the last 3 episodes of Discovery, or for Picard Season 2?
If I was rushing.
I noticed. I think we were going to get I thought we were going to get a landslide on that one, and actually get our first 100%.
Yeah.
Whoever voted for Discovery Season 4, shame on you. Shame on you guys. You haven't been paying attention.
I know people have asked us how are we going to frame our reviews because they don't even want to give us a day separation. They're both out on Thursday.
I think we should move the Picard ones to Friday. Do Picard on Friday. Do the Discovery ones on Monday. And yeah, we'll just have to figure out the filming schedule earlier in the day.
That'd be my assumption too, guys. And let's be honest, Discovery's going to have a lot less to talk about, as every week has been. So you might get one episode of Discovery Tech if something really cool shows up, but Picard's definitely going to take over the reins, which kind of sad for Discovery. It's Final 3. The conclusion of the story is going to be completely buried by Picard. I'm sorry to say.
Unless they tie together.
Unless they tie together. But, you know, that's okay. So yeah, expect Friday as normal, Picard, and then Monday. And then when Picard becomes a solo, it'll be, well, stay on Friday. No change there.
Exactly. No change there.
Because Friday's good. You know, Friday makes sense.
Yeah.
But how will you do your first reactions, though? I guess still...
I'll do combined. I could do combined, but I could just do 2 views instead.
Gosh.
Do one Thursday night, one Friday night.
Yes.
Do the Picard one Thursday night. Do the Discovery one on Friday night.
Yeah.
And then do it. Yeah, because that way they're both ahead of our break.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Thanks for supporting us, because you really do. We do it for you guys, and you make us feel wanted and thank. So thank you. Oh, good.
Yes. General Grievous, $2. Forgot to add option 3, death by very T Disruptor.
No, they're illegal. We don't use those in our live chat poll suggestions.
They're illegal. Neither one of us owns one.
I don't know one.
Kit 10K, $5. Great video, guys, as always.
Thank you
very much,
kick
Kit.
butt.
Save the day.
Yes, very much so.
All right, guys.
Wish me luck for filming tomorrow. I'm filming the second half of Stargate Star Trek crossover for Trekyards tomorrow, so...
Good luck. And let's end this poll. Are you more excited for Disco Season 4 or the end of Picard Season... or for Picard Season 2? Picard Season 2 wins by 81%. So 19% for Discovery. So I'll just end that poll now. And end this live. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Lots of cool content coming out. And, yeah, exciting times. So see you guys soon.